Well, I want to explain about language and the brain. Language and the brain are intrinsically related, and in order to gain a deeper understanding of psycholinguistics, we must examine this relationship. Meanwhile, language is a function of the structure of the human brain, and several brain regions have been identified with linguistic capabilities. And another function, language learning, helps improve people's thinking skills and memory abilities. Because the language centers in the brain are so flexible, learning a second language can develop new areas of your mind and strengthen your brain's natural ability to focus. The localization issue, language impairment sometimes occurs after brain damage outside the classical language areas, Dronkers et al. 2000. Even in right-handed monolingual patients with no known prior neurological condition, which might have caused a reorganization of language function in the brain. It is also worth noting that the aphasic symptoms observed in the children who have suffered brain damage are very different from those found in adults. The primary modality of language that is affected is speech production, but writing is often affected too. There is also growing evidence that grammatics and aphasic patients in general may not have lost their linguistic knowledge of body text. Comprehension of spoken language and reading are usually much better preserved. Next, preservation of grammatical knowledge in broadcast aphasia. Aphasic patient linguistic performance is often highly variable and might improve or deteriorate considerably from day to day or at certain times of the day. For example, they might be able to complete a passive sentence begun by a therapist even if they are unable to construct one themselves. The primary modality of language that is affected is speech production, but reading is often affected too. Next, the resilience of language. As we have seen, there is considerable evidence that individuals who have suffered lesions to broadcast area do not lose their grammatical knowledge, but are simply unable to access it at will. And some regions of the brain are more involved in linguistic and specifically grammatical processing than others. This suggests that linguistic knowledge is represented in a redundant manner in various regions of the brain, with the language areas acting as a kind of central switchboard. Another important lesson to be learned from the research on aphasia is that our capacity to use language is extremely resilient. In a measure, individual language can survive to loss of the language areas or even of the entire hemisphere. So, in conclusion, language is a function of the structure of the human brain, and several brain regions have been identified with sociolinguistic capabilities. Various techniques and methods are used to identify and study brain structure, function, and abnormalities. It is through these imaging techniques that we can gain a deeper understanding of how the brain works at a neural or cellular level. So that's all about language and the brain material for me. I hope you understand, and thank you.